there's an experiment being conducted behind these locked gates.
I think I am doing nothing till I get my results. Complete yourself.
Hang on, John. Hey, come on.
On any other wing, in any other jail, a prisoner swearing at an assistant governor would be facing disciplinary charges. But Hull Prison's A wing is testing a softly regime on some of the most dangerous and disruptive inmates sent from long-term dispersal jails.
But McGallagher's not helping himself, though, by just rowing and shouting and expecting him to be able to...
The special unit, volatile from the start, had its biggest crisis when David McAllister, serving 19 years for armed robbery and assaults, escaped. His breakout came in July. This film was made in A Wing last June. The prisoners arrive from punishment blocks all over the country. They've been in constant trouble, and this is an attempt to break the pattern. At a time when prison resources are stretched, the unit has cost nearly £1 million and is heavily staffed. Patrick Mackay has come from the segregation block at Parkhurst. He's serving 5 life sentences for manslaughter and robbery.
That's the platform. Well, in fact, I'll do what I'll do. You're not going to the reception anyway. Not how much.
Just to tell you that Mackay's arrived safely, no problems with the escort. That seems to have gone okay, and his personal officer's taken him for a tour of the unit now. That gives us, what, 10 inmates now on the roll, although we've only got 8 of them, because Sykes is still down the segregation unit, completing his punishment, although he's going to be coming up at the weekend. So that should take us back to 9. Richards is still down there, and doesn't seem to be much prospect of him coming back.
No, it's really easy with the fingers, aren't they? Where are they gone?
If anything, I think the staff's morale's better than mine just now. The Winston McAllister argument, I think, is going to go on and on and on. And that could end in tears, or it could resolve itself. But they're kind of like 2 icebergs that aren't rushing to be melted.
Do you know Ratcheti's Joe the Greek?
Frank Winston is serving life for murder.
He was here a week, and they shanghaied him from me. He went to Manchester. I was at Manchester and I lay down with him.
Yeah,
Just like...
I'm not certain. I think I vaguely heard the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Albany? You ever been to Albany?
Albany, yes, I was at Albany in 1986, I think I was at Albany for a short period of time. No, I wasn't there too long, actually. I didn't particularly like the...
Still on control lock, Albany, isn't it?
Not anymore. They're back on the keys.
I thought they were on like only 6 at a time, slop out, under riots.
Well, I got there just after the riots.
we've been going for about 6 months now. It's very much an experimental thing. The proof of the pudding will be come back in 12 months' time if there's a number of inmates who are getting stuck in and making good progress. We can put an argument to the prison department that this way of dealing with inmates is a good one and a positive one. There'll probably be further units built. If it doesn't work here, however, with all the resources that we've got and the high staffing ratio that we've got, I think it could well be back to the drawing board, and the prison department might think it's not been worth the investment.
I came from the block straight onto the wing, and of course it was mind-blowing with all this new colour TVs, videos, and you can order a video. Like the first night you seen the colours of the cartoon, like what to keep the TV in. I was just going to go smash.
You used to enjoy watching the ads.
Oh yeah, this is the ads I was watching. I was watching the ads. I haven't seen any for 3 years, and because of the amount of hassle got down the block and everything, and when you see, it's like it hypnotises you, that the colours and everything, and it brings out the aggression. And of course, you're sitting there like, you know, it's like a junkie withdrawing from his junk. Like you want to keep the TV in.
These people have been fighting the system for a long, long time. When they come here, we don't fight back. We try and negotiate things through. So we may have to give a little bit of ourselves away. We say, right, so you don't want to clean, but will you do something else? Will you do this for charity? Will you do that for another cause or whatever? We'll do art therapy yet, eh?
You reckon?
When they look for an argument, they won't find one. Where normally perhaps they would have been nicked in another establishment, they don't get nicked in here. But it's not just about that, it's about the fact that we get them to explain their behaviour away, we talk them through it.
Don't be too precious with it, bash it about a bit.
Attitudes may stay the same, but as far as possible we try and change their behaviour to something that's more acceptable. At the end of the day, they're going to have to go back to a dispersal on normal location and survive there.
Yeah, this is the first time in 5 years when I've come through the prison to find it, to talk to an officer. This sort of talking, I mean, in the dispersals, it's not heard of, mate. Yeah.
Well, I remember you once saying to me before that, you know, 2 or 3 years ago, there was no way that you would ever have spoken to me or any other officer. It's true, you had a complete hatred for prison staff.
They make you bitter. It's the things they do in the prisons to people.
Well, can you just give us a few instances, outline what exactly it is that upsets you so much?
Well, when you've been in a body belt, when you strap somebody in a body belt and you put them in a strip cell, and then they can throw buckets of cold water over you and kick you and beat you and do things like that, which has happened in the jails and which does happen, it's still happening.
Yeah. Well, in all the time that I've been in the job, I've never ever seen mistreatment.
But you know it has gone on.
Well, I've been told it's gone on.
Yeah.
But, you know, I can honestly say that I've never ever seen a prisoner mistreated, and I wouldn't, or ill-treated, and I wouldn't allow it for that matter.
I'm saying
because it makes us unprofessional.
Right.
Of course, I took over as your personal officer, 2 months ago now, and we haven't really had that much contact through one reason or another. I didn't really know what your form was, you know, what your claim to fame was. You just give me, if you like, a brief outline of what led you to pick up your sentence in the first place. Because I know you started off with 9 months.
I was doing a 9 month for a charge as I was concerned. But I wasn't guilty. You know, it was just a normal fight that the other guy started, so I wasn't intending on doing the time. So I broke out of knowledge. And when I'm out, I've done robberies, armed robberies and all that. But as bad as the crimes I do, I don't affect my crimes on women or children and things like that. Yeah. It's just, you know, men, you know.
What were the armed robberies?
A bank in a post office.
And was there any females involved in that?
There was females in the bank, but the guns weren't pointed at the females.
You didn't actually threaten
I wouldn't
the
have pointed a
females?
gun at a female.
No.
It was always at the man in the place. And when I've got caught and they've got us back in the prison, it's been because I broke out of Norwich prison. That's where it's all started. The tit for the tat there. They've got more of the hump for me escaping than what I've done.
Yeah.
So it's been fighting with them through like that.
Do you actually feel as if you'd have ever been threatened while you were pulling off these robberies that you could have actually pulled the trigger, whether it be with a man or a woman?
Oh, no, not for a woman. You don't need to use a gun on a woman. But for the man, I would shoot to the legs. I would shoot, but I wouldn't shoot to kill. I would shoot to kill.
Yeah.
Unless it was a policeman or someone like that coming in, because they'd be coming in to do the business.
Yeah.
But I'd always go for a one shot.
Yeah.
You know, the legs or something like that.
But to be honest, prior to your 9 months, I didn't know anything. As far as I could see, you didn't have any real form that we would need to worry ourselves about, even necessarily the police. Am I wrong on that? Or did you have more?
Well,
did you have more form?
Well, why am I Cat A, high risk? Why am I the only Cat A high risk in this prison? Category A high risk. Why am I the only one in this prison?
Well, I think possibly it's because of the actual escape attempts and the successful escapes that you've, managed in the past.
Well, that's still... I mean, you've got somebody like Freddie who can kill some people, and murderers and real bad cases.
Yeah.
And they're all right. I just escape and I'm a high-risk Cat A, like a terrorist Cat A.
Fred Lowe has been out of institutions for only 44 days since he was 16. He's now 32 and serving 2 life sentences and 20 years for grievous bodily harm, aggravated burglary and attempted robbery. He received a 3rd life sentence for the manslaughter of an inmate at Gartree Prison. Today, for the first time, he's chosen to talk about that killing to psychologist Tom Smith.
I've gone downstairs, says, get some scissors out of the office, boss, so just want to trim my beard. So he gave me them. And I called him in the cell, says, I've got a cup of tea for you or coffee or one word anyway. So when he came in, I said to him, what you've been saying, you're going to do this, that and the other. Well, I've got news for you, pal. You're not going to do it, I'm going to do it to you. So I stabbed him 30 times in the throat, blacked both his eyes, split his head, skull open once or twice, just generally jumped up and down on his face. I was about 18 stone then. Kicked him under the bed.
Why?
Well...
Why did it take so much?
He was just... he'd opened his mouth at the wrong time. There was a lot of stirring up by other lads, and I was annoyed at what had happened to me, like, double life and everything for nothing. If you tell a man he's dangerous so many times and so many times, he believes it, and he eventually...
Isn't it true that at the time you said something like, if I'm going to do a life sentence, I might as well do it for killing somebody?
Oh yeah, that was part of it. There was a lot of things. That was part of it. I suppose it was a mature way of getting me on back in the system, saying, well, you gave me double life for nothing, you might as well give me a life for something. There you are. Do what you want.
But the poor guy involved, it was generally known at the time that he was an unfortunate case who shouldn't have been in prison in the first place. Everybody was saying, well, he shouldn't be here, he should be in a special hospital. Why did you pick on him? He was never really a threat to anybody.
I didn't pick on him. He just came across my horizon, whatever. He came across me because of all the threats he'd been issuing to me over the years.
And do you feel at the time of the offence you were a psychopath or behaving psychopathically?
From the point of view of somebody who is supposedly using that label to enjoy taking human life, there was never, ever any suggestion in my mind that I was ever a psychopath, if one wants to use that criterion. I could have perhaps understood some people being rather uncertain as to whether or not I was. But I certainly have never considered myself psychopathic if one takes the criteria that one gets a special enjoyment out of killing. No such enjoyment have I ever had. I have never found any pleasure out of any such thing.
I know there's still bad feeling between you and McAllister, and a lot of that surrounds Brenda, yeah? I know that. I've been trying to take the edge off it. If Brenda sits in a TV room with anybody, I'm not going to tell her not to do that as long as she's doing her teaching job.
It happened again today. And I told you the other day, and you done nothing about it.
Hang on. There's an argument between you and McAllister that's been going on for some time now. We've taken a lot of the heat out of the situation. The governor said to me last night how well we had done as a unit and how well you had done as an individual to get back on the unit without a blow-up, yeah? The matter's not resolved, I know that. It's going to take us a bit longer to crack that one. But it's a very complicated one. As Eric said, the fact that Brenda has agreed to go back teaching with you after the problems earlier in the year is very big progress. That's a really good step. Now, the rest of it we've got to work at, and that's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah, but all I'm saying to you, why haven't you sat her down and said, I don't think this is right? You're afraid to upset her?
No.
No.
Well, why had it been done, Eric?
Softly, softly, catch your monkey. Sometimes you can't front things out just like that.
Why can't this be fronted out, even though this has gone on for months?
No.
Because it's going to cause other ripples with you and Dave, man. But we're trying to avoid it at the moment. We're trying to get everybody living harmoniously in the place.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter how it affects me.
Frank.
As long as the unit runs smooth, you're not worried about how it affects me. I was the one who had to do me lay down at Manchester. I had to lay on the block at Manchester, right? And I'm back now, and every step I've got to behave myself perfect. I've done everything you've asked me. Everything you've asked me since I've been back. Nothing wrong. I've done nothing wrong. When I come to you with a problem, I don't get no solve. It don't get solved.
That's not true.
No, I don't expect you to go on classes with Frank at this stage. It's far too early.
I wouldn't go home at any stage.
Well, fair enough.
I've sold out in Norbury.
Fair enough, but you know what the problem is, and the fact that I am going to be working with him from now on.
Yeah, I know the problem is. Like I said to Norbury, no, I'm not going any classes with him for what he did to me last time. If I'm not in any classes with him, he can't do me no damage. As for grassing and telling lies, because I want to hurt him. That's all I want to do with him. I just want to hurt him. And as soon as I touch him, I get moved. And that's me back in segregations. And I ain't going to give him that satisfaction.
Exactly.
But I want him to come to me.
But what's to say even if you didn't, you didn't resolve the problem?
I
You
would.
still wouldn't lose this. As in being on the unit.
Well, I'll face it when it comes. I'll face it when it comes. I ain't always going to be here anyway.
No, but you want to progress from here.
Brenda's going to turn it round. She started turning it round today. Since your return to the unit, she's been turning it round. OK?
Yeah. All right, we'll leave it like that.
Anyway,
I've got this for over tea.
Right. You're going to take it up over tea?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's all right.
He broke this.
No, you broke it.
I never broke it.
Well,
John
somebody
Rose,
broke
what did
it.
John Rose do?
John Rose broke the file.
Yeah, I know, because he showed me how to break
Don't
it.
forget, it's the middle about the hard one. Just can't finish it, but the petition.
Oh, right.
Right. See you later, Frank.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's different here. It's mind games.
Oh, come on.
It is. It's mind games. It's all nice. You see in the morning when you get up in the morning, you're walking down the stairs. There must be about 20 officers that says good morning to you.
There's never more
to
than
see
12.
what response they're going to get. How are you going to be today?
Yeah.
Good morning, Dave. Good morning.
We're
good
just
morning.
being civil. That's not mind games. We haven't got
No, but
the
it's a
intelligence to play
different
mind games.
approach to what people have been used to.
Yes, of course it is.
They've been used to all different. Now they're getting a different approach to it.
Yeah.
It's all being nice, you know.
Yeah.
It's a bit hard when people have been all bad to you.
Was that what you found really hard when you first came here?
Yeah.
You stupid. Open that gate!
There are often times when I have been frightened on the unit. There was an incident once when an inmate came into the room with a knife which had been broken. And he was basically just telling me about this knife that had been broken, but as he came into the room I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, okay,
If you could, or go down onto the block and ask him where it is.
I will,
Okay.
yeah.
I am the only full-time member of staff on the unit who's a female, which does have its drawbacks. The inmates relate to me in different ways, and obviously that can cause a lot of problems, especially if a member of the team or one of the inmates has difficulties relating to female staff, because in a lot of cases it might be the first time they've had the opportunity to talk to a woman in years.
D-Wing is slopping out. This is the everyday scene in the rest of Hull Prison. No lavatories in cells here, and no association for some on this overcrowded wing. It houses 200 convicted and unsentenced prisoners. They're in their cells for up to 23 hours a day. The contrast with A-Wing is startling. It's led to resentment against the special unit's 26 prison officers, all volunteers.
There's a lot of stick going about in the rest of the prison. They're saying that we don't know how to say no to these people. And yet the people who are saying it would never, they don't want to come and work in here. And sometimes you think about it and think, is it worth it?
The classic, they call it the Wendy house.
Yeah.
Once you've worked in here, I think a lot of your attitudes you take out into a normal prison setting, and then I think it makes you into a better person, probably a better officer as well.
It makes you better able to deal with aggression, especially face-to-face aggression, face-to-face violence. I mean, we're holding the worst of the worst now. We hold the worst from the dispersal.
Unmanageable, don't they, really? But whether we change them, we'll have to wait and see.
It's dribbled down the side a bit, but that doesn't matter. It won't deter from the taste of it, won't deter from any of it. All right? And you don't have to eat it, but just to garnish it, little tiny piece of parsley.
All right, Pete. Nice visit.
This is the only unit at Hull where prisoners cook for themselves.
Right. Well done.
One afternoon a week, the chaplain's wife, Sue Jin, gives the men a practical lesson.
And you don't like mustard. You won't taste it in the sauce, all right? I promise you, you won't actually taste that mustard in the sauce. It just brings out the flavour.
Looks all right, yeah?
Right, it's very hot.
Yeah.
All right? That's fine. If you take all those, the rest live down here, don't they?
Yeah.
The officers here in the cons have no hesitation in turning their back on me while I've got these knives. And even though my track record has been rather heavy in using knives on people.
Check them knives, Buckle.
I've got a lot of trust that way, and I tend to respect it.
Ronnie, after, just go down the seg unit. Just go down the seg unit.
One of A-Wing's inmates is returning today from the segregation block. He's an ex-heavyweight boxer serving 2.5 years for burglary and assault and 3.5 years for assaulting staff at Hull. On the day he went to the block, a restraint team with helmets and shields stood by in case of trouble. But the special unit's officers persuaded him to go quietly. Now, in an extraordinary move, they've successfully appealed to the Board of Visitors over his punishment, and his solitary confinement has been reduced by 8 days. Paul Sykes was disciplined for abusing a prison works officer who came into the special unit. Later, the charge was quashed.
As soon as I got here, I said, you must keep the screws out the main nick from coming in. Well, I said that for a reason, Harry. I know what vindictive some of them are. And I am in the nick now for belting a screw here, well, 2 screws here. And if they don't keep out that, if they don't allow to wander in, I've got no protection. Are you with me? Now then, the screw's coming out the main nick, gone in the office. Paul Sykes has hit me. 3 days later, I'm nicked for assault. I said, I'm not playing. I'm not playing. Go ahead with it. Go ahead with it. Some kind of game it is. I don't know what kind of game it is, but I'm not playing. I'm watching through the window and I see the Board of Visitors come in. 4 of them. 2 of them had done my parole application, did my parole application, and the other 2 have strolled about the wing when it first opened, wandering about, smiling benignly and saying like, how lucky you are, what lucky chaps you are. And I've given them all a coating, every one of them give them a coating. Told them that they're here to protect prisoners' rights. That's what they're there for, to see the system doesn't trample on them. That's what they're in the job for. I said, everywhere you go, this statutory rights has been obliterated. And what does he say? When he was the Minister of Prisons, he said, it's not our policy to let inmates know the rules. Well, I know the rules, yeah, and they should know the rules, and they should make sure that the system plays to them. And I've given them all a coating. These are the lots that's now coming in to try me. The charge isn't assault now, it's abusive and threatening language. So I thought, yeah, so I've written it out now, my statements. I deny all allegations, and the days have gone when a screw could say you've said something or done something. He's got to have some proof. And the governors can't say, well, if he said you were riding around the landing on a motorbike, I'd want to know where the petrol come. Them days have gone, all that carry on. Yeah. So I've written it all down, and it's a straightforward, by law, case dismissed. Paul Sykes has hit me. If it had have happened at school, when it happens at school, and he'd have run to the teacher, Fred Smith's hit me. Just have a look at him. No marks, no anything, just, well, go and hit him back then. That's what they say, yeah. And that's what they should have said to him.
I've not been to Edinburgh for over a year.
And of all the nicks in the northern region, they couldn't possibly get one farther away from Liverpool than here. Right at the other side of the country.
He was a big head,
So
John McGranagan says he's been beaten and labelled a sex offender. He's serving 2 life sentences for rape and 70 years for charges including aggravated burglary and robbery. He says he's innocent of all but 1 charge of wounding, and he smashed up other units in protest. Justice, the lawyers' organisation, has taken up his case with the Home Secretary.
Every criminal's supposed to say he's innocent, so you hear it all the time. So for me to say I'm innocent, so oh yeah, we've got another one. But as you can see for yourself, you have read the documents. And
yeah, I mean, it seems to me they're going into great detail about the lack of forensic evidence, the lack of mention of your stutter, all those things.
Yeah.
The lack of... Well, was there a lie detector done at the time?
Lie detector done... No, since I've come in prison, I've been on the lie detector.
Sure.
And just I passed that with flying colours.
And I think one other thing, if I remember from what you were saying the other day, even the evidence about the size of your penis, which was quite an important bit of evidence in the case.
It's funny to me. It's not funny to me, but I've got to take some some stick for that, obviously, because all the boys when they laugh and like that, oh yeah, but they put over that this man was an enormous, the three women. I mean, the women did suffer, don't get me wrong. I mean, I've no against these women. What they did go through was horrible. But they did say, the three of them, that the man had a large phallus, enormous. Well, I mean, I'm not small, but I've been quite happy if I'd been like that, I think.
But you now have a certificate saying you're at least average.
Yeah, I have the official figures.
Okay. So you feel that if you're accepting any part of the sentence, it's like accepting your guilt. But do you think the knock-on from that in recent times has been that you get a reputation for being, as the system would see it, a troublemaker and a disruptive and subversive?
Of course, yeah. They created me. What I am, they created me.
Sure.
Reports I've wrote, and they wrote reports about me, and that's some of the reports I got the rubbish. And I got just a prison, and just before I arrived there, the staff are thinking I got to get some big Tyson coming in by their own reports. They've wrote what they've made themselves frightened by their own reports.
Right. You know everybody here, don't you? Yeah. Wish I did. It's an induction meeting. We just spoke about your first week, how we've seen it.
I think it should be a gradual thing. I think we've said that we'd expect you to be with us at this time next year.
Yes, I should hope so.
Beyond that, you know, we can't ever really say, because that's something that we debate amongst ourselves and talk about with headquarters. Have there been any problems with the other inmates whilst you've been here or not?
No. Well, not as yet, anyway. To be accurate.
Have you got any concerns that there might be?
Not particularly, no. But I can't read the future anymore.
No.
When you look at it, Paul, I wonder whether it's wasted on these people, whether it wouldn't be better if the new lads, you know, when I say new lads, I don't mean new, I'm talking about new in the crime. If we spent a bit more time with them and tried to steer them and give them these facilities and all like that. It seems like these always seem to be getting the best, and we treat them with kid gloves.
Other prisoners do get a raw deal in financial terms compared with this lot, but we're really taking people from the top end who'd be causing problems in the other dispersals. They'd be stuck in the segregation units or causing no end of problems. You know that from when this place was a dispersal.
Well, this is where I feel that I justify being here on this unit, in my own opinion, and quite a few of the staff have shown this themselves, that we justify it by the fact that, you know, we've done dispersal and we've seen these troublemakers on the landings and who can be a pain in the backside.
You said to me, no. And I thought it was a sharp no, do you get me? To me, I thought, I don't like the way she said that. And that give me the amp. Do you follow me, to be honest with you? Which is wrong again, because...
Why is it wrong, Frank?
I shouldn't be affected by it. I shouldn't be affected because she said no, but to me, I took it... Because I was so obsessed with...
Exactly.
Because I was so obsessed with your attitude and Mac's attitude, right? Thinking that you were siding against me, do you follow me, and did not want me on the unit or whatever. And on top of that, when I come back, you refused to teach me, but you give your reasons that you was frightened of me. You suspected that I might blow up. Do you follow me? You wasn't sure how I would react when I come back from Manchester. To me, I felt you're completely against me. Not just that everybody else was against me on the unit when I first come back, but you was against me. Do you follow me as well? And I thought, somebody's got into your head. I suspected somebody got into your head, right? I didn't just look at it I didn't say to myself, well, it's me who's got into her head because I've caused it, because I've frightened her. Do you follow me? I couldn't see that then. Do you understand that, Brenna?
Are you saying you can now?
Yeah, of course I can see it. I can see it now, but it's still very difficult. It's not an easy thing. Whenever I look, I always seem to see you when you're on the wing in the company of that man. Or he's always in the company of you.
But that's not because that's what you're looking for, Frank.
But Tom, it's a fact because members of staff notice it. Members of staff complain about it.
Well, you pointed out to certain members of staff who you know will side with you.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
Brenda, you can't say that.
Yes,
Trevor Drury
but I
said to me
time
this morning-
myself. You want to know what I am doing every 5 minutes of the day. When I first started on the wing, I would pick up a telephone. Who's that? What are you talking about? Where, who, where, why, what, when? And I went off the wing. You wanted to know.
Brenda, would you agree that you have admitted you spend more time, you have spent more time in the company of one man more than others? Would you agree to that? Because I know for a fact, Brenda, you have admitted it. Why then have you done it? Can you answer the
Why?
question?
Well, in a week when I've maybe arranged to meet some other people, like I set up an interview with another inmate a week ago, he didn't turn up. I sat downstairs for an hour like a lemon on my own.
But Brenda, there's nothing wrong with that.
Do you mind, Tom, please, for a moment? Let's look at the facts that wind me up, Tom. Are you listening to me now? You have just told me I dig female staff out. I want you to prove that because I'm not going to give up on that now. I will go out of my way. I will go out of my way to prove
Frank,
you are wrong.
Look at your finger. Look at your threats to Brenda.
It's not a threat. It's not a threat. She's just accused me of something.
Gesture,
so is that what you're saying to me? Is that what you're bringing up to me in the past? You're telling me I'm using females in prison to my own kicks. Is that what you're trying to say to me?
No, that's not what she said.
So what are you saying to me then? Why did you bring it up? You insulted me there, Brenda.
Do you want to stop it?
You insulted me, Brenda, and you know you insulted me.
You pushed her into it, Frank, as you push her into everything.
Why did she bring it up then?
Because you threatened
To back
her
at me,
again. No.
How did I threaten her? What did I say
Because
to
you're
threaten
giving her this all the time,
I'm
Frank.
not threatening her. I've not threatened her.
He made life an absolute misery for Brenda in there. And if she's been getting that for the last 6 months, nobody, not any one of us, not Brenda because she's female or anything, not any one of us has a right to take the amount of shit that she was getting because he wanted to impose himself on her. If Brenda's been taking that amount of shit for the last few months, it's hardly surprising that she experiences a lot of stress and feels a lot of pressure. So I was there this morning and I was able, I like to think, to control a little bit of the flow. Frank showed his true colours there. I have to say this, Trev.
Sure. He went in there with all the good intentions in the world. I'm convinced of that. I'm convinced that he went in with good intentions.
I wonder how much he meant these good intentions, because they very quickly evaporated. And what I saw there was not so much a temper control problem. There was a bit of it there. He did lose his rag a little bit, but it was a lot more than that.
What are we going to tell him, 1074 or what?
Hang on, you need to set your team up. I'm going to get on the telephone to Regent to see about his move.
You want him to walk down the segment with me?
Yeah.
Could do with stuff on the land.
You and Matt and me just to one side.
Yeah,
right.
well aware.
You just keep away a discreet distance.
Within 2 hours, Frank Winson was on his way to another jail because of threats from the other inmates. Three weeks later, David McAllister made his escape from the jail. He was caught in London after 5 days and returned to Hull. Within hours, he'd smashed up a cell in the hospital wing and he was whisked away to a high-security prison. An inquiry at the prison reprimanded 2 officers for security failures, but A-Wing's regime hasn't changed. The experiment continues.
Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Find light in the beautiful sea. I'll choose